Hi, it's Alia. So I'm having to redo this video because of the link. And it's now 2 a.m. I've put River back to bed several times, and she may wake up again during this video, so I'm going to try to cut it close, because I just want to get it uploaded, because if I don't do it now, I never will. Okay, so this is a controversial mommy tag, and obviously these are all my opinions, and they don't mean anything about anybody else. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions. So, pro-life versus pro-choice. Personally, I'm pro-choice. I don't feel like it's my right to tell anybody else what to do with their body, and I don't think that it should be legislated that any lawmaker can tell anybody what to do with their body. Personally, I couldn't have an abortion. Obviously, that was an issue when I had my own child. At 20 years old, people definitely tried to influence me to having an abortion. But that's just not something that I could do as a maternal person. Although I don't feel like it's my place to tell anybody else what to do, and I don't feel like legislators, it's the place of the law either. Baby wearing. I baby wear. We have kind of a knockoff ergo, and it goes up to 40 pounds. In the beginning, I had like a crotch dangling, front facing carrier. I didn't know anything about the controversy behind all those things, and if you're interested in that, it's really easy to look up crotch dangling or baby wearing controversies and things like that. Just get some more information on it. But so based on the research that I got, I decided to go ahead and get a new carrier. And it's kind of silly, as much as that's based on the actual research that I did, a lot of it's also based on the fact that I didn't want this whole baby wearing community to be watching me as I'm carrying my baby in this carrier, thinking that I'm a horrible parent because she's like crotch dangling or front facing. It just seemed a lot easier to just get a new carrier and go with the current trend, and I know that's like kind of silly and stupid to say, but I think that we do a lot of that as moms, as parents, who just go with the trend because we don't want to be judged. Maybe it's silly, but I think we do it. I just want to be honest about it. Circumcision, I obviously didn't have a boy, but I don't believe in circumcision. I think that it's a child's genitalia, and I think that the whole surgery is cosmetic genital mutilation. It's completely unnecessary. Obviously, I understand why people do it, but personally, I never would. Adoption, I don't think anybody is against adoption, but I don't think I could put my child up for adoption unless I was just in the most dire of circumstances and didn't believe in my ability to improve those circumstances. So I applaud people that do choose adoption, but it's not for me. Baby piercing, I think that's another thing. Obviously, it's not as dramatic as circumcision, but I feel that girl or boy, it's the choice of the child, and I think that from a very early age, a child can make the decision. I know that when I was 3, I asked my mom to pierce my ears, so I think that a young child has that ability to let you know if that's something that they want, and I don't think that a baby should be forced into that, because I feel like it's kind of gendering a child before they even know or understand what that means. And I know we do that every day as far as clothes go and colors go and things like that, but I feel like piercing is just really a big part of it, and it's a larger scale thing, and I think it's up to the child to decide as far as that goes. Breastfeeding, I breastfeed. I think that breastfeeding is best. Obviously, I think formula is a good thing. River goes to daycare, and sometimes I can't pump enough bottles, so she has had formula before. I mean, I would say that we exclusively breastfeed, but that doesn't mean that she's never had formula. We've never gone through more than a can of formula. We're still on our first can of formula that we've ever had, and she's 7 months old. But, like, I don't ever give her formula at home. She nurses at home. The only time she ever has it is when she's not with me and I wasn't able to pump enough. And obviously I pump when she's not with me. And it's good for moms who can't breastfeed. Spanking, I don't think that I can clearly speak about that issue right now. Obviously I don't want to spank my child, but I don't think that I'm at a place in my parenting situation where I can speak to spanking, because over 7 months old, obviously would never spank a 7-month-old. So I feel like that's something that I'm going to have to think more about as she gets older, or I'm going to have to think more about discipline as she gets older, so I can't really answer that one right now. Co-sleeping, I started co-sleeping with her when she was 6 weeks old because it was just a lot easier with breastfeeding, and I was really scared about it because they tell you like it's a really big SIDS risk, until I started doing some research and realized there's a whole attachment parenting community out there that really advocates co-sleeping, and that there are lots of scientific benefits to co-sleeping. So if anybody's interested in that, like, just attachment parenting has like its own website. Just search attachment parenting and they have a whole list of topics on there, lots of information, and co-sleeping is one of the big ones. Right now, I'm trying to get her to sleep in her own bed because Brittany moved in with us, and so there's 2 of us in a twin bed, 2 adults, and it's really difficult to have a 3rd person to have River in there. It's cramped, but so we're in the process of transitioning to her to her own bed. But I think that co-sleeping is great, and I think it's underrated, to be honest. Homeschooling versus public versus private versus charter. In an ideal world, I would homeschool, but I don't know if I'll have the time when it comes to schooling forever. I'll just have to see as far as my job goes. I'd like to be a professor, so that might allow me that amount of time. We'll just have to see. I don't think that homeschool children are not well adjusted. I know homeschool children, my family, like a cousin, that are plenty well adjusted. They have plenty of friends. They go to different co-ops. They go to different meetings. They have groups. They're plenty well adjusted. Public, I don't have a whole lot against public schools, but I do think they're exposed to things they don't need to be exposed to. Private, I think it's the same thing. A lot of exposure to things they don't need to be exposed to, but I think they have a pretty good education there, so I think that's how it balances out, is they are getting a really world-class education in private school. Well, for the most part. Obviously it's dependent on the school. Charter, I think charter schools are good. It's kind of a good alternative. I went to a language magnet school, so it kind of can cater to a child's individual interests. My brother goes to a charter school, science charter school, so I think that's a good compromise between private and public schools, because it allows you to go to a free school where you get to learn about what you want to learn about. Vaccines, I know that there's a lot of controversy about this, and for me, I just didn't feel like I knew enough to, like, I felt like I trusted the medical community enough on this one that I vaccinated. I fully vaccinated. I think that's the best choice that I could have made. I totally support people out there who think that they're informed enough to make that decision against vaccination, but I didn't, and this one I felt like I had to trust the medical community about it. And there's some other factors that go into it, but different time. Medicating children. I'm afraid to medicate myself. I've just started taking some supplements to help with issues that I have. As far as like anxiety goes, I've thought about medicating myself, and it scares me. I don't want to be somebody I'm not, so I wouldn't want to do that to a child. It's just developing who they are. So I definitely think that in all circumstances you should try to find a better outlet other than medication first. Medication should be your last resort. Cloth versus disposable. The cloth diaper, I love it. Started doing when she was 6 weeks old because you've got to wash it and dryer. And times that I've had to use disposables, I just can't wait to get back to my cloth. Absolutely love it. It's money saving. It's environmentally saving. I just like it. I just like cloth diapering. And then the cry it out method. Before I had a kid, I really thought that you were supposed to let a kid cry it out. And when I had River, at first I thought that I was supposed to let her cry it out. And I did. Sorry. I did when she turned about 4 months old. I let her cry it out a few times. And it works for her, but I started doing more research on it, and I realized that wasn't for me, and then I felt like it was kind of a form of neglect, and that I should really just give that time and let it take the time it needs to get her to sleep in her own bed and sleep independently and provide all the support and love that I can. So I'm not for the cry it out method anymore, and I feel like that's another decision that parents have to make on their own. But as far as, like, I've had a change of heart as far as that goes, and I encourage anybody to research it, to research the cry it out method and some of the benefits / flaws with it. I think that's about it. I was going to add one more question that's not on the list that I have, which is baby-led weaning versus puree feeding for solids. I started with puree feeding because she wanted to start eating at 4 months. And obviously at 4 months she can't pick up food and eat it herself. So we started that way, and she really did want to start eating then. She started grabbing for food off my plate then. But now she's 7 months old, and we're starting to transition to strictly baby-led weaning. So she's strictly eating table foods. We're not really spoon feeding her anymore. Sorry, this is shaking. And she's doing really well. She likes it. She eats and feeds herself and doesn't choke. She does really well. I really like baby-led weaning. It's a big mess, but so is spoon feeding a baby. And it's kind of a lot less effort. Like, you just have to prepare the food, and it's kind of nice because you can eat at the same time the baby does. So there's my added question. But again, these are all just my opinions, and everybody's entitled to their own. So thanks for watching. I'm gonna go to sleep now.